Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Shades, and in a brand new video today we're going to talk about a very huge topic. I know this though is not a current topic, but it's going on. It's going on for quite some time. Is London red or blue? So it's a very interesting topic. A lot of people talk about this. Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, there's a rage, and every time Arsenal plays Chelsea, is always going to be talk which club owns London. We don't talk about Spurs at all. So though I'm a Chelsea fan through and through, I've been a Chelsea fan for almost 25 years, but I'm going to be neutral. That's I'm not wearing the Chelsea jersey. I'm going to talk about this. It's very windy out here, so you can understand everything is going topsy-turvy here. But anyways, we're going to talk about it. It's a cloudy day, just to say the sun might just rise up. So anyways, coming back to the topic. So we'll start with Arsenal. As I said, I'm going to be neutral, or try to be as neutral as possible. And so I'm going to start alphabetically with Arsenal. Arsenal has been one of the oldest clubs in the football league, in the English football league. Has been a really old club, maybe in the late 1880s or something when they were created. And they had a very good time in the 30s when they won like 4 or 5 back-to-back trophies, the English league title. And however, they did not have a great time after that, but they've not been relegated. So it's been more than 113 years that they have been relegated. That just shows how consistent that they have been, that Arsenal has been. But it's only in the 90s when they had a resurgence. In the early 90s, they won the league once again. In the mid-90s, they won it once. But then the era which really defined Arsenal Football Club in a big way was when Arsene Wenger took over in the late 90s. He created a team for about 10-15 years. That team was really good. They won a bunch of league trophies, a bunch of FA Cups. They even made it to the Champions League finals. They lost it. They created a team which will be known forever as the Invincibles, the team in the Premier League which has never lost a match and went on to win the Premier League. It did not happen before and might never happen again. So that's how good he created a team, bunch of really good players, Henry, Vieira, Pires, Sol Campbell, just to name a few of the many really top players they had. One of my favorites was Antonio Reyes, that he is no longer with us, but it was an amazing player that he was. So just to name a few of them, Arsenal went on to be a great team during that time, though saying that Chelsea did beat them, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit in the coming minutes. At Highbury, that invincible team was beaten in the Champions League quarterfinals, but we all know how good Arsenal was. Now coming to Chelsea a little bit, started in 1905, team won the first league title at about 1954-55, when the ex-Arsenal player Ted Drake took over as the Chelsea manager. But after that, Chelsea had an up and downs in the 70s and 80s. It's only when Ken Bates took over as the owner we got something going, and that's also around about the same time Arsenal was doing their thing in the late 90s when Ruud Gullit came in 1996, and then Gianluca Vialli, and then a bunch of players from the Italian league started coming here. We had a couple of World Cup winners in those days in 1998 from Desai and Libov. Then a bunch of great players came in. Deschamps came in, who was the captain of the French World Cup winning team. And we created a team. We went to the Champions League. We had a famous match against Barcelona. So Chelsea had things going well. As I said, we went on to beat the invincible Arsenal team at Highbury, that wonder Wayne Bridge goal in the Champions League quarterfinals. It's only happened when we finished 4th that season, the season before actually. And then the season later on, Mourinho took over and things changed. That was in 2004-2005 season. 2 back-to-back Premier League trophies on our centenary year. And then we won a couple of FA Cups. We were always in and out. We were always finishing in the Champions League. We were always finishing in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. Almost every year. 2008 Moscow Champions League, we lost in penalties to Man United. We should have won that, by the way. The referee in 2009, I think it was the year 2009, when the referee actually took us out of the Champions League in that semi-final match against Barcelona, which we should have won. But the powers that he didn't wanted us to win it, simple as that. But we went on to win the 2010 double. We did under Anchelloti. We won the FA Cup and the League Cup double. And the FA Cup and the Premier League double, I mean. And in 2012, we did the unthinkable. We were not the best team out there. We beat Barcelona at Nou Camp, and we then went on to beat we went on to beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. That was huge, going there and beating Bayern Munich against all odds, and went on to win our first Champions League title, something Arsenal has not done yet. The season after that, there was again a manager change, but we went on to win the Europa Cup, the only team which has gone on to win the Champions League and Europa Cup back to back. That's Chelsea. After that, a couple of years later, Jose Mourinho 2.0 did happen. We went on to win the league once again under him, and then when he was sacked, we went on to win the league under Anchelloti. So we had, in the last 15 years, if you look at it, we had like 5 league titles. We had a bunch of FA Cups. We have won the Europa Cup a couple of times. We have won the Champions League once. We've been to the final the one other time. Just to say, last season under Sarri, we went on to win the Europa Cup against beating Arsenal. So just to say how things have really stacked up with Chelsea against Arsenal. Now, if you look at it now, if London is blue or red, we'll talk about it a little bit, that Arsenal has got a really good team over the years, especially the last 20-25 years. Those first 10 years of Arsene Wenger, from around about 1997 to 2007, was electric. Most of the times they should have won the league, but they let Manchester United, and to a certain time Chelsea, to win the league when they should have. There have been times when Arsenal would have been first and looked like Arsenal will win the league, but come February, everything fell apart for the Gunners. And that has been a thing for Arsenal for years, a plaguing thing. When you see, for years Arsenal had got a team, a very good team, bunch of players, even now in that matter, a bunch of really good talented players, but when it comes to really getting the result, at times I guess the players go missing. You come to Chelsea, for the other hand, if you look at the current bunch of Chelsea players, some of them are not really up to the mark, but when it comes to winning titles, and this just shows the Sarri's last season when we won the Europa Cup against Arsenal. I mean, not many people expected us to win it because we don't have a great team. We do have Eden Hazard in our team, but and 2-3 good players, but quite a few of our players were injured. So we played Arsenal. Arsenal was expected to win. Even if we would have won, Chelsea would have won, it would have been a 2-1 maybe. But we had to go out there and win 4-1 against Arsenal. And not too many people would have thought about it, that we will go to Arsenal, we'll go to the Europa Cup final, and it will be a 4-1 match for Chelsea, or for, in that matter, anybody who wins a Champions League or a Europa Cup final match at, with that kind of a margin. It's pretty huge. So I feel Arsenal over the years, especially in the last 15 years, 20 years, has been flattered to deceive. But Arsenal has so much of potential, but over the years have not really delivered. They have won titles here and there, but overall has not delivered. Yeah, you guys had a great history. You guys had an amazing 1930s, but it's almost 100 years ago. We are in 2020 right now. So it's almost like 100 years ago. But right now, if you look at the last 15 years, though at times I think the Chelsea team has not been good, there has been player revolves. If you look at the manager merry-go-round at Stamford Bridge over the last 15 years, so many managers changes, but Chelsea at the end almost every year lands a title. And that has been the brilliance of Chelsea Football Club. That is also something not so good, but also at the end of the day, Chelsea fans will take it at the end of the day. Though we didn't have a consistent manager for 5 years or something forever. I don't remember the last time Chelsea had a manager for 5 years, but still, we are getting our work done, just like Real Madrid, like maybe to a Barcelona, that they keep on changing managers, but still, because the nucleus of the team is good, they are able to win titles, and that is important for a big club to continue to win titles, something Arsenal in the recent years have not done it. And so that, on that case, Chelsea has the edge, obviously, over Arsenal over the years. In the last 10, 15, 20 years for sure. In the last 15 years for sure. I'm not going 20 years. That time, in the late 90s, Arsenal was a really good team. But so saying all that, Arsenal has a very good youth system, though it's not talked about. We talk about the Chelsea youth system, we talk about the Manchester United youth system, but the Arsenal youth system is also very good. So keeping that in mind, you'll have to understand one thing, that Arsenal has a lot of potential and can do a lot of changes. Now, while we talk about all these things, I can tell you, in the olden days, in the 30s and onwards, Arsenal and London was certainly Arsenal red. However, in the recent last 15 years or so, I can clearly tell you that Chelsea London is Chelsea blue. It's blue because the way Chelsea has shown over the years, we do not have the best of teams, but we have, especially in the last 5 years, we have managed to show that we are a better team over Arsenal at least. So if you look at the league positions as well, we have finished higher than Arsenal. So needless to say, in the last few years, Chelsea has got the upper hand. So yes, the last few years, Chelsea is the team and London is Chelsea blue. But saying all that, I just wanted to talk about on a fact that though London could be blue, though London could be red, you guys might agree, you might not. At the end of the day, we are no longer the top teams. There was a time when Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United were the top teams. Now it's Liverpool and Man City. And we want to not just be the best team in London, whether it's Arsenal or it's Chelsea. We want to be the best team in England and maybe in Europe. And for us to do that, we'll have to get back to that thinking, but how Arsenal was in the late 90s, how Chelsea was from 2005 to 2015, those 10 years, Chelsea rocked. So as an Arsenal fan out there, as a Chelsea fan out there, though we can keep on arguing if London is red or blue, at the end of the day, we have to know we are no longer the best team, the top teams now, the top guns. We'll have to get back to that level. We still have to be the top team. Though Chelsea goes on to win something the other every year, Arsenal doesn't. But overall, we still have to think of getting back to be the number one in England, not just be number one in London. So anyways, I'll leave it at that at this moment. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree with me. Do you think London is red, or Arsenal red, or London is Chelsea blue? Let me know in the comment section as always. Please watch the full video as I keep on saying all the time. So until next time, guys, see you. Bye-bye.